So children, let us once again continue with the important features, important characteristics of the p block element group 17. We have already started with the characteristics of group 17 elements, and we have already discussed some of the properties. Let us have a recapitulation of all those properties, and then we are continuing further with the other properties. So the first property we discussed was about the electronic configuration. So general electronic configuration of 17 group element is ns2np5, or in detail if we write that it is ns2npx2 npy2 npz1. It means that these elements, they lack one electron in the p orbital. If they gain this one electron, then they will obtain the electronic configuration of the nearest noble gas element. So their chemistry mainly depends on the number of electrons in the valence shell. Then is the size. Size as we go down. So we know that there are which elements in this group? Fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine and astatine. Now we don't consider astatine much in our discussion because it is also a radioactive element. It has a very short half-life time. So when we are discussing the halogens or the group 17 elements, we generally discuss the characteristics of fluorine, chlorine, bromine and iodine. Okay, so the size. Which size? The covalent size and the ionic size. As we go down, the size will increase because new shell is added every time. So fluorine is the smallest, and out of all these four, iodine is the biggest in size. Then is the ionization enthalpy. Ionization enthalpy means the energy required to remove 1 mole of electron from 1 mole of gaseous atom in the ground state. So ionization enthalpy will decrease with the increase in size. As the size will increase, more easily the electrons will be removed from the valence shell. So as we go down in the group, the ionization enthalpy value decreases. But for every element in its respective period, like fluorine is in the second period, chlorine is in the third period. So in every period, the ionization enthalpy, as we go from left to right, it increases because the size is decreasing, because the effective nuclear charge is increasing. So size decreases, ionization enthalpy will increase. So in its respective period, fluorine will have the highest value of ionization enthalpy. The next is electron gain enthalpy. Electron gain enthalpy means the energy which is released when the atom accepts an electron. So if we see these elements, then the trend should be, as the size increases, then the electron which is accepted will be less easily accepted if the size is bigger. Because who attracts that new entering electron? The nucleus. So as the distance of nucleus from the outermost shell increases, when the size is increasing, so less energy will be released. Means electron gain enthalpy value will become less negative as you go down. Means fluorine should have the highest negative electron gain enthalpy, and iodine should have the least negative electron gain enthalpy. But children, remember, the trend does not follow for fluorine and chlorine. As fluorine is very, very small in size, it shows an anomalous behavior. Here, because of the small size, when the new electron is adding into the valence shell, as the size is very small, that electron will experience more repulsion, and because of that repulsion, the less amount of energy is released. But as of chlorine will be considerably bigger in size as compared to that of fluorine. So if the electron is added in the valence shell of chlorine, then more amount of energy will be released as compared to that of fluorine, and that is why chlorine will have a more negative value of electron gain enthalpy as compared to that of fluorine. But as compared to chlorine, then bromine, then the trend will be followed. But the anomaly is only for, or the different behavior is only for fluorine and chlorine. So we have till now discussed electronic configuration, size, then ionization enthalpy, electron gain enthalpy. Now let us see what is electronegativity. Electronegativity is the tendency of an atom to pull the pair of electrons towards itself. So it will depend, yes, on the size. Fluorine is the smallest in size, so it is the most electronegative element. Then more electronegative than fluorine is chlorine, and so on. So as we go down, the electronegativity decreases because the again size is increasing. Okay. So electronegativity in its respective period, electronegativity will increase. Down the group, electronegativity will decrease. Then the physical property. Physical property, let us take the first one, state. So fluorine, chlorine are gases, bromine is a liquid, iodine is a solid. So as we go from top to bottom, the state changes from gas to solid. The nature, whether metal, non-metal. So fluorine, chlorine, bromine and iodine all are non-metals, whereas astatine is a metal. Then color, fluorine, chlorine, bromine and iodine all are colored. So you are very well aware of these things. Fluorine is yellow color gas, chlorine is a yellowish green gas, and bromine is a reddish brown color liquid, and iodine is a violet color solid. So they show colors. Now children, what is the reason why do these elements they show the color? Because as we can see here that in the valence shell of these elements there is one unpaired electron. A single electron is there, and when these elements are irradiated, the electron can easily gain energy and it will move in the higher energy level, in the higher energy orbital. Now when it goes back into its ground state, then it releases some radiation of the visible region, and that is why these elements they appear to be colored. This is an important give reason which is asked many a times in the board exam. Halogens are colored. So what is the reason why they are colored? Okay, so you have to remember that. Then the next is bond enthalpy of X2. Means bond between fluorine, fluorine, bond between chlorine, chlorine, bond between bromine, bromine. So this bond enthalpy, as we go down, it should decrease. Why should it decrease? Because as the atom will be bigger in size, so the bond length will increase, and bond length will increase, less the amount of energy will require to break the bond. So fluorine is the smallest in size, iodine is the biggest in size. So the amount of energy required to break the bond between iodine and iodine should be the least, and fluorine it should be the highest. But here again the fluorine element is not showing the trend which is expected. The reason is again its very small size. So the bond between fluorine and fluorine can be easily broken. Why can it be easily broken? Because there is a lot of repulsion between the electrons of one fluorine atom and the other fluorine atom. And as a result, the expected is the energy required to break the fluorine-fluorine bond should be the highest. But the energy required to break chlorine-chlorine bond is the highest and not of fluorine. So it is the least energy required to break this bond, and that is why fluorine is highly reactive, because the enthalpy required to break the bond is very less. So we discussed the bond enthalpy of X2 bond. The next is chemical properties. Now in chemical properties, first we will see the oxidation stage. So in the previous class we have already discussed that these elements they show oxidation state +1, +3, +5, +7. And as well every element will also show in addition -1. Some of the elements they will also show +4 and +6 oxidation state. Now why these elements show -1 oxidation state? Because as you can see here there is only one electron in the z orbital, pz orbital. It means it needs one more electron, so it can gain one electron, and that is why the oxidation state is -1. And all these elements are highly electronegative elements, and that is why the charge will be -1. Also a remarkable feature is fluorine will always show -1 oxidation state. It can never show +1 oxidation state. The reason is because it is the most electronegative element, fluorine, and that is why it will always show -1 oxidation state. Other elements they can show -1 also, they can show +1 also. Higher the oxidation state in any compound, the compound will be more covalent. This is a general feature which is seen in all the different compounds of all the different blocks and different groups. Okay. Next is a very important feature of these elements, their oxidizing nature. The oxidizing nature means what? The tendency to oxidize another element and itself get reduced. For example, fluorine is there. Fluorine can gain an electron, it will form F minus. So if you see the electrochemical series, you will find fluorine at the topmost of the electrochemical series. It means that it is the highest, it has the highest power to oxidize. Means it is the most oxidizing agent, fluorine, because it has a tendency to gain electron. Now, oxidizing nature will depend on two things. One is the electron gain enthalpy, because electron gain enthalpy is the energy released when the atom gains an electron. So by gaining an electron, it is becoming a negatively charged species, or itself it is getting reduced. The second important thing is the hydration enthalpy. Hydration enthalpy is the energy released when the ion stabilizes in an aqueous medium. So, children, we saw that when we discussed electron gain enthalpy, that more energy will be released when chlorine is accepting an electron and not fluorine. It means that chlorine has a more ease to accept the electron, means it is having a more negative value of electron gain enthalpy. So then chlorine should have the highest reducing power, highest oxidizing power, but it is not so. Fluorine has the highest oxidizing power. Though chlorine can easily form a negatively charged ion, but fluorine has a more oxidizing power. The reason is we have not only to consider the electron gain enthalpy in our discussion, but we have also to consider the hydration enthalpy. And hydration enthalpy will be more for that ion which is having a small size. So out of Cl minus and F minus is very, very small, and so its hydration enthalpy will be very high. And that is why electron gain enthalpy and hydration enthalpy put together, it will give a value in such a way that fluorine will be the most oxidizing agent. Means its reduction is possible more than the other. Means we can say that fluorine can fluorine can oxidize chlorine, means F will become minus and Cl2, means Cl minus is getting oxidized and F is getting reduced, means it is having a high oxidizing power. Then same way we can write for Cl. Cl2 can reduce itself and oxidize Br into Br2. Cl is Cl minus. So that which is above is having a more oxidizing power as compared to that which is below. Again, the reactions of water also supports the oxidizing nature. Fluorine can oxidize water into oxygen. Fluorine can oxidize, means itself it will get reduced. So F2, if it is reacting with water, it will oxidize water into O2 and H plus ions will form and F will form F minus. This is a redox equation. Children, we have learned balancing of redox reactions. So you can balance this equation in that way. Then the reaction of chlorine with water and same way bromine with water, it gives hydrohalic acid, that is here it is hydrochloric acid. In general X is halogen, so we will call it as hydrohalic acid. In this case it is hydrochloric acid and also hypohalous acid. This is hypochlorous acid, so hypohalous acid. Same way with Br2, the reaction will be Br2 plus water will give hydrobromic acid and hypobromous acid. Okay, and then the reaction with I2, it is exactly opposite of that of reaction of fluorine. Means iodine cannot oxidize water into oxygen, but I minus can reduce oxygen and H plus ion into water. So the reaction is reverse as that compared to fluorine, that of iodine. Okay, so this is all about the reaction, the oxidizing nature of the halogens. The next topic, it is the anomalous nature of fluorine. So anomalous nature of fluorine means the behavior of fluorine not expected as it should be with its group elements. It shows some different kind of behavior. Now what is this different kind of behavior of fluorine and why is it different kind of behavior? We have already seen. The trend is not followed. Electron gain enthalpy, then the bond dissociation enthalpy. In all these cases fluorine behaves in a different way from the expected trend. So the reason is fluorine is having a very small size. Then as we discussed for nitrogen and oxygen in group 15 and 16, here also fluorine is having a very small size and absence of d orbital. So it is unable to expand its covalency. It is highly electronegative. It is the most electronegative element, and that is why it cannot show oxidation state of +1. It will always show an oxidation state of -1. So these are some of the reasons why fluorine shows anomalous behavior. Also its highest oxidizing power of fluorine, that is also an anomalous behavior of fluorine. Okay, so we discussed about the anomalous behavior of fluorine. Then its reactivity towards hydrogen. The reactivity of fluorine of the halogens towards hydrogen. Let us see the reaction. The compound which is formed on combination of hydrogen with fluorine will be HF, with that of Cl will be HCl, and then HBr, and then HI. Now children, as we discussed in the previous group elements, that the bond dissociation enthalpy will be associated with the stability and will also be related with the reactivity. So as we can see here that the bond length between H and I will be the longest because iodine is very big in size, and so this bond will easily break. Then this, and then this. So that is why HI will be the strongest acid because it can easily release a proton. So strongest acid, then weaker, and then weaker. Now if we see the state of HCl will be gas in state, whereas HF is liquid in state. So the reason for this is fluorine is the most electronegative element and it is the smallest element. So the intermolecular hydrogen bonding in the case of HF will be very, very strong as compared to that of HCl. Here also there will be hydrogen bonding, here also there will be hydrogen bonding, but this hydrogen bonding will be more strong because small size and the high electronegativity of fluorine. And that is why HF is a liquid. HF is used for etching glass. The glass apparatus, they are marked with the markings, they are calibrated. So for making those etchings, HF is used. HCl is a gas, HBr is also a gas, and HI is also gas. So out of all these four, only HF is a liquid. So the reason you know why it is now. Okay, then stability will be more of HF as compared to HI. HI will be the least stable because the bond can easily break. So stability, bond dissociation enthalpy, and reducing power, and then acidic nature. Most acidic is HI. So we discussed the reactivity towards hydrogen. So this is over. Reactivity towards oxygen. So the different types of oxides of this group, for example chlorine. Chlorine forms Cl2O, ClO2, and then Cl2O6 and Cl2O7. Like this it forms a number of oxides. Other elements also form a number of oxides in this way. These are all explosive oxides of chlorine, and higher the oxidation state of chlorine, more covalent the nature will be. Okay. So there is nothing much to discuss here. In the case of oxides, yes, you have to remember that the oxides of chlorine are more stabilized because of the availability of d orbitals in chlorine F. The oxides are not that stable because the absence of d orbitals in chlorine, the presence of d orbitals is there. Also double bonding with oxygen is also seen in chlorine, which stabilizes. Okay. And then reactivity towards metals. So we know that halogens, they react with metals. Metals are electropositive, these are electronegative. So mostly in the lower oxidation state they will form ionic bonds. If the metal shows higher oxidation state, then the bond will be covalent in nature. And the last is reactivity towards halogens. This we are again going to see in detail in the further part of the chapter. These are known as interhalogens. So as we know that there are different valencies of halogens 1, 3, 5, 7. So it can form X, X dash 3, where X is the bigger size halogen and X dash is the smaller size halogen. So one halogen with the other halogen, it is known as interhalogen compound. Means F can combine with Cl, Cl can combine with Br. So in that way they can form interhalogen compounds. About interhalogen compounds we will see more in detail in the further part of the chapter. So here we have come to an end of the general characteristics of group 17 elements, their atomic characteristics, their physical and chemical properties. So we will continue further with now the important compounds of this group and their chemical reactions and properties.